Perfect.
Awesome.
Well, welcome everybody to our discussion today, our Tuesday training on how to reduce chronic inflammation and really how to add more color and variety into your diet. So I've got Lisa Kyle with me today. Thanks so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
And we're gonna kind of break this down into talking a little bit about really what is chronic inflammation? What does that look like? And really, how can you combat chronic inflammation by adding color to your world? And then Lisa's going to talk to us a little bit about Juice Plus and her experience as a consultant. Is that the right terminology? Consultant, Juice Plus consultant? Or
Sure.
representative, and really some of the things that I didn't know as a registered dietitian and some things that I'm learning from Lisa, which is actually quite remarkable and amazing, some of the things that Juice Plus has done. So really excited to learn more about that today and get you guys all in the know when it comes to other options and trying to really help with your health and become the best version of yourself and trying to reduce chronic inflammation. So kind of before we get started and talking about what to do, let's talk about some examples of really what is chronic inflammation. So if you've ever experienced frequent headaches and migraines or joint or muscle pain or digestive issues, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, acid reflux, these are things that we don't like to talk about, but are definitely a necessary topic because we experience them if we do have inflammation within our body. Poor memory, difficulty concentrating, mood issues, anxiety, depression, high blood pressure, skin issues like eczema and psoriasis, seasonal allergies, and overall weight gain, especially around your midsection. These are really strong signs that you may be dealing with chronic inflammation. So inflammation is really the root cause of every type of chronic disease, including autoimmune diseases, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, and cancer. And we hear about this so often, it's becoming more prevalent in our world. I mean, how many of you know someone with diabetes in your circle, or someone who has heart disease, within your family network? So it's very common that we're hearing more about these diseases becoming on the rise. But that's why it's so important for our discussion today and for us to talk about what you can do to help prevent and move and pivot really the other direction. So reducing your inflammation, like I said, is one of the most powerful steps that you can do to prevent illness and keep your family healthy this fall season. So you've heard of the term antioxidant, right? It's in the news everywhere. Lisa, where do you hear about antioxidant the most?
It seems to be on every commercial everywhere, and you read about it in magazines and newspaper articles. We're always looking to find something to fix that oxidation. So
right.
hence,
And
yeah.
Right. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about, that oxidation. So you may have heard, so everybody's heard the term antioxidant, but have you heard the term oxidative stress? And really, oxidative stress happens as we age, as we digest food, as we breathe in polluted air, as we put chemicals or lotions on our bodies, or what we're cleaning with in our environments and our households. So as stress arises and we're exposed to all of these things in our environment, it really causes naturally and also exacerbates the oxidative stress that happens within our bodies. So that is all connected to the chronic inflammation that we're talking about today.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And we kind of know about oxidation. When you cut open an apple or an avocado, it tends to get brown and oxidize. And what do we normally do to kind of counteract that? You squeeze a little lemon juice or a little lime juice on the avocado, and all of a sudden, those antioxidants from the fruits actually will counteract the oxidation that's going on the fruit itself. Can you imagine what that does for your face and for the inside of your body as well? So healthy cells are your body's frontline defense to against oxidative stress, and it gets down to that cellular level. So fruits and veggies provide these antioxidants that we need for these healthy cells.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point. I mean, just like that, that's a very great visual example of when you're cutting into an apple. Say you've got kiddos at home and you cut up the apple and they don't finish it. It's like, okay, I have a little bite here, and then you come back to it later, it's all brown on the outside. And just as you said, so that vitamin C coming from the lemon juice is going to serve as that antioxidant, helping reduce the oxidative processes and breakdown that is occurring within the apple. So let's talk a little bit about the fun part. We're getting sciencey, and now we're going to kind of make it a little bit lighter. So how can you help your body recover and from all the inflammation and everything that's going on within and around you and the internal stressors that you're dealing with? You can add color and variety to your plate. And I always joke and say, add color, you got to taste the rainbow, not the Skittles version, right? We want to taste the rainbow of colors within the variety of our produce. So when we're talking about the colors in our produce and adding that in, what really is another term that can kind of double as an antioxidant, but is a little bit more obvious when we're talking about the relationship between colors and then chemicals? So phytochemicals, phyto meaning color, chemicals, not in a bad way chemicals, but which is nearly the same thing as like antioxidants. So phytochemicals are really substances that naturally occur in plants and provide many health benefits, such as antioxidants. Some protect our bodies from oxidative stress, some protect against cancer, and really have a lot of other disease-fighting properties. So let me ask you this. Right now, if you can think about the varieties of colors that you get in your diet, what color is your diet right now? Are you getting a variety? Are you tasting the rainbow? If not, why should you care? And this is what really Lisa and I are going to talk about today. So I just have a quick stat. 31% of people do not get enough greens in their diet. 22% do not get enough reds. 21 do not get enough yellows or oranges. And 14% of people do not get enough whites, while 12% do not get enough purples. So these are color deficiencies, and they increase our risk of heart disease, osteoporosis, cancer, diabetes. So the first color we kind of want to talk about today is red. So red is really healthy for, and when I teach this to the kiddos, it's like we get them to touch their heart and touch their eyes and touch their brain. So all of you adults out there, you can pretend to be kiddos right now, and you can place your hand on your heart. And red is really healthy for your heart, your memory function, helping reduce the risk of prostate cancer and urinary tract infections. So you may have heard of the antioxidant lycopene. Where do you commonly hear this, Lisa? Like lycopene is typically in
tomatoes.
Tomatoes, right. So it's usually found in tomatoes and other red pigmented plants, and really cooking enhances it. I once read this study, this is like back in undergrad, and they were talking about the cooking process and the longevity, the term of how long the tomatoes were cooking for. And as they cooked, the longer that they were in the heat, the higher the content of the lycopene and the antioxidant value within the tomatoes. So it's kind of it's pretty interesting to see like what heat will do, and in other cases, how you can preserve and protect antioxidant content in other produce when it's uncooked. So maybe we might talk a little bit about that. We don't have that. We didn't talk about that before, Lisa, but maybe we might add that into our talk today.
Yes.
So also red fruits and vegetables are really good sources of vitamin C. Many people think that yellow is the only category of vitamin C, or people think of like lemons, most often. Yep. What did you say, Lisa?
I said oranges. Yep.
Oranges. Yeah. Oranges, lemon, like your citrus fruit, definitely.
Right.
So also thinking about the reds can be great in that category because they contain also folate and flavonoids, which also can reduce inflammation in the body. Any other things that you want to add about the red category, Lisa? Anything within Juice Plus?
Well, we carry a lot of red vegetables in our Juice Plus. There are apples and tomatoes and cranberries and those kinds of things. So again, you're pulling that red out of your rainbow.
Yes, for sure.
So lots.
Oh, it's breaking up a little bit. Can you hear me, Lisa? Oh no, Lisa? We have lost Lisa. Okay, I'm going to keep talking, and hopefully Lisa will pop back on here. Okay, so we've got orange and yellow as our next category. So orange and yellow is our heart health, our vision, to support healthy immune system, skin health, and really reduce the risk of macular degeneration, protect your DNA from damage, and really help with blood sugar regulation. Also reduce the risk of lung, esophagus, and stomach cancers. So the orange and yellow group has an antioxidant called beta carotene. and also beta cryptocyanin, which is a little hard to say, and alpha carotene, which all can be converted to vitamin A. Most of the time when we think about vitamin A, we think of carrots, right? That's like what comes to mind first when people think vitamin A, or sweet potatoes. And really, this is another category. This is a fat soluble vitamin, which means that whatever produce that it's in, that color, that rich, deep orange and yellow color, when those vegetables and produce are cooked, it actually creates a higher level of that antioxidant of conversion of vitamin A within the body. So it cut out a little bit there. Lisa, you're back. I'm glad you're back.
I know.
It's okay. We've got some people mowing their lawns on the other side of this. So once we get to, and I've got a couple more colors here we want to talk about. And then once we get to the part where we're talking a little bit more to inform people what is Juice Plus, because we haven't even talked about that yet, we'll talk a little bit about how the product and the supplement line really helps to enhance a lot of the colors that we're talking about today. So within that, now we've got green. So green really decreases the risk of cancer too, increases vision health, increases strength of bone. So when I have the kiddos doing this, I have them jumping up and down with like big guns in their arms, right? So get you stronger, you got to eat your greens. So to encourage also enzymatic conversion, so within your liver, to help your body digest better, to help improve the detoxification process that happens within your liver, and help to reduce carcinogenic components. So what I mean by that is things that cause cancer in your body, the green category does a really good job of helping your liver detoxify and get rid of it. And then we have the purple category. So purple is great for heart health, memory, and also supporting healthy blood pressure. And then anthocyanin is probably the one that people hear about most because people love their red wine. So people say, oh, anthocyanins in red wine, right? But many of the plants that have that blue and purple hues can function again as that antioxidant and helps ward off disease by preventing blood clot formation, and also can help reduce the risk of cancer. So you can see in every category, we basically talked about reducing the risk of cancer, and who doesn't need that in their life today? So by now you can really see the importance that adding color and adding variety does to your plate. And if you're missing out on a color, and you've discovered within this short 5-10 minutes that we've been talking about this, that you're missing out on the yellows or missing out on the purples, this is your opportunity for you to add in some color and really get some variety into your diet. So really, what is in season right now? We're kind of moving into fall, into winter season, where there's a little bit less available here in Illinois. If you're watching this from another state, you may not have the same short season that we do have for our produce. But right now we've got apples and bell peppers and cabbage, garlic, greens like your kale, horseradish and onions, peas, potatoes, pumpkins, spinach, squash, and sweet potatoes that are all in season right now. So this is a great time to get a lot of those colors and add that variety into your diet. And then when you can't find other colors in season, this is what really we resort to, where we're looking at other location, like other places within our country, to help supplement in the produce that maybe your nearest location doesn't quite or isn't growing at the moment. So in order to get it to your nearest grocery stores, we rely on other places in the country, maybe in your frozen vegetable section in the grocery store, or to get even some of your dehydrated vegetables as well. And so kind of leading into that, tell us a little bit more, Lisa, about some of the benefits and the reasons why this may be a great time to implement a research-backed product like Juice Plus, and really what it is. Tell us more about it for people who don't know. We are having.
Sure. I know it's an Juice Plus, but you're very, it's not a juice, which is kind of interesting. So in the Midwest here, we don't have all the different fruits and vegetables available to us all year round because of, like you mentioned, that short growing season. So in order to get it in our grocery stores, we need to transport those fruits and vegetables, sometimes long distances, in order for us to have something to look at in our produce department. And for that to happen, they actually have to that produce quite early, mainly before it's even ripe. And for those of you that don't know, most of that ripening that happens right before you're going to pick a piece of fruit or vegetable is where it gets all additional value. And so plants get their value right there at that ripening. picking them ahead of time, well, then we're picking them too early, and then we're losing some of that nutritional value. And you mentioned, frozen foods being very good alternative, and that's because they're actually allowed to ripen, and then they're frozen, kind of flash frozen, and that kind of locks in those nutrients, which is kind of exactly what Juice Plus does. So it's not only difficult to get quality fruits and vegetables year round. Once you do buy them, then they end up sitting in your refrigerator for a while till you prepare them. Then you get them on the table, and then your spouse or your kids go, I don't really want this, or I don't like this, and then they refuse to eat them. And that probably sounds familiar for a lot of families. So years ago, I remember watching an episode of Dr. Oz, and he talked about all these basic supplements that you should take. And he would mention a vitamin, and then he would say, oh, if you took it with this mineral, it will be better absorbed in the body. So I went to Walgreens with my list of what to buy, of what Dr. Oz said, and I thought I was being healthy, making sure that I was getting all the things that he recommended. What I didn't realize was that actually nature had figured this out already. So an apple alone here has more than 10,000 different phytonutrients in it. It looks, there's the red side of the apple, but anyway, when you eat this apple, you get all that nutrient, and it's all nutrients, and they're already figured out how to get into your body and be absorbed, because your body knows what to do with really real food. So I was then looking for a way to add more fruits and vegetables to my family's diet. And the trainer that I was working with at the time introduced me to this thing called Juice Plus. And it was literally dehydrated fruits and vegetables in a capsule. So they come in little capsules, or it's in a chewable form. It's like a little gummy for kids or adults who don't like to swallow pills, But basically, this capsule opens up, and there's powder in there, and it's dehydrated fruits and veggies. So it's not really a vitamin. It's just all the vitamins you get naturally from the fruits and vegetables. Juice Plus actually owns and works with the farmers that grow only specifically for Juice Plus. They go ahead and leave that produce on the vines till it can get ripe and full of nutritional value. And then they juice it and dehydrate it at a low temperature so we don't damage the nutrients. And then it's simply put in a vessel of a capsule. So I even have parents who open up the capsules and just dump the powder in their little kids' mouths when they're infants too, and get them used to that taste of the different fruits and vegetables. So there's so many products on the market that I just really needed to do my own research, because it's kind of sounded too good to be true. And actually, that's the thing that sold me on Juice Plus, and that was the research itself. We now have close to 40 different clinical research studies that are written up in medical journals worldwide, and several of those studies actually prove that these fruits and vegetables help reduce inflammation, and that's what you were talking about earlier with all the different colors. So if you look at a vitamin bottle, you have something called a supplement fact label. And that's because this one happens to be vitamin D3, and it's an isolated vitamin. And so Juice Plus is different in the fact that it has a nutrition label on it. It still supplements, but it is not a supplement. It adds to your diet the different fruits and vegetables. So when I found out that Juice Plus was actually more researched than any other nutritional product on the market worldwide, I decided to give it a try. And I connected with this company for a couple of reasons, obviously the research, but they were also committed to improving health. And they went so far as offering it for every child, ages 4 through college. That's huge, that they're looking at really making a difference in people's lives. And so,
Lisa,
huh?
I don't mean to cut you off. It cut you off when you were saying that about kids. Can you just say that one more time about what you said about the kiddos?
Yes, sorry about that. My internet for some reason is kind of unstable here, but the Juice Plus provides product to children ages 4 through college. And it provides it with, if an adult buys an order of Juice Plus, I can give a free order to a child, which
That's
we're
amazing.
really, yeah, I know. And so we have close to a 1.5 million kids getting Juice Plus free worldwide. It's really a huge reason why I joined the company, because they're not just looking to sell a product, they're also looking out for people's health and to inspire this healthy living.
Which is
So
amazing.
we're not saying take Juice Plus and don't eat your fruits and
I was
vegetables. No.
just going to say that. What do you tell the people that say, well, now I don't have to eat my fruits and vegetables?
Exactly. Nay, they say. But but sometimes we need a catalyst, something to get us going. And what people are doing with you is also your coaching. That helps too. We're taking baby steps and making some changes. And so not only what we're finding with the kids, when they start to eating more Juice Plus, they actually start craving more fruits and vegetables. So that is changing their metabolic, makeup. So it's really cool.
I was just talking about this with a client yesterday, if you don't mind me interjecting.
Really? No.
And we were talking about taste, and we were talking about from the very beginning when her and I started together, she had such a craving for sweets and was really like throughout the day, she was like, I really need the sugar. And as we started to just transition and talk about adding value to her diet, not necessarily, I always say like, how can we add more value to your nutrition, to your plate? And as we started to do that, she's like, I can't believe how much my taste buds are changing. So that makes total sense when you're talking about with the kids and having them get a taste for that supplement, or even if like you're pouring it on taking the capsule apart and putting it in their tongue, they can taste the different flavors of the fruits and vegetables by therefore acquiring a taste for that produce and more inclined to crave more of those healthy foods.
Right. Because if you eat a lot of sweets, you crave a lot of sweets. So if you eat a lot of good stuff, you also start craving that as well. It's kind of a nice insurance policy. It kind of bridges that gap between what I am eating and what I know that I'm supposed to be getting 9 to 13 servings in a day. And we don't always do that. Yeah. And then if you're really, and if you're working out and you're an athlete and you're training, you need more like 20 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. And that's difficult because by the time you're prepping it and preparing it and eating it, that's your whole day. You can't do anything else, right? So this is kind of like that little bit of a bridging that gap, and it's really
I think that people even have a hard time getting in like 4 or 5 servings of vegetables is what I see. So when we're looking at that recommendation of how do I optimize my health? How do I do everything in my power to reduce my chances for cancer and other metabolic diseases and really try to reduce systemic inflammation? 9 to 13 servings of vegetables. And when we're talking about servings here, we're talking about half a cup, and then depend upon if it's raw or cooked. And a lot of times I teach my clients, you're using your fist as your serving size, and sometimes depend upon your fist can be 1 or 2 serving sizes, right? You use that too, as far as,
Yes.
And so looking at that and you think, wow, oh my gosh, that's a lot of vegetables to eat. But if you were eating a salad every day, that might be a great way to incorporate it in. Or those fall veggies and those greens we were talking about with some tomatoes and that anthocyanins and those purples. But with Juice Plus, now we're talking about combining the two and being able to kind of supplement maybe that salad with another kind of safety net there.
Right. And actually, we're seeing it show up in blood work. Your blood numbers are going to change for the positive. So we know it's getting absorbed in your body and we know it's going where it's supposed to be going and doing the work it's supposed to be doing. And it's not just 1 or 2 different fruits and vegetables, and something in season, but you're getting close to 30 plus fruits and vegetables a day. And because it's dehydrated, it's so concentrated, it's just little bits of everything. And that's kind of how we eat. We're supposed to have a lot of variety and eat that rainbow like you had mentioned. So
do you have the examples out in front of you? Can you show us the different things? Because I know you showed me the vegetable one, the fruit one, and the berry one. Yes.
Right. So the one here has broccoli, parsley, tomato, carrot, garlic, beets, spinach, lemon peel, rice bran, and kale in it. And the fruit is apple, peach, cranberry, orange, mango, lemon peel again, acerola cherries, pineapple, prunes, dates, and beets, which you're not eating that every single day. I am, but and then the berries and grapes are really great for when you talked about the antioxidants. So raspberries, bilberries, blueberries, cranberries, pomegranate, Concord grapes, black currant, blackberry, elderberry, which we know everybody uses for immune health, and artichokes and cocoa. So I mean, that's what you can ingest every single day by just taking the 3 capsules. You know, I normally take 2 of each a day. That's the dosage of it. But you can throw them in your smoothies, or you can, you know, open the powder and put them in different things as well for the kids, like in applesauce and things like that. So,
Can you also show us the back of that label? Nutrition facts, because people would ask, okay, now that I'm taking a fruit, is it going to be the same caloric information or calorie and carbohydrates?
Well, that's a good point. They do remove not only sugar and the sodium, but also along with the water. So you're just getting that concentrated fruits and veggies. And there are literally, for 2 capsules of each of these, 5 calories. So very minimal. The carbs are less than a gram if you're worried about carbs, especially with the capsules themselves. And so it's great for people who are dealing with heart disease as well as diabetics, because you're not getting that sugar from the fruits and vegetables. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so much for talking to that point, for sure.
Yep.
And then I was also going to ask you too, and maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but wanted to also ask you about how your tower garden is going, and if you can tell us a little bit about that too.
So Juice Plus isn't all just about the capsules itself. We're always preaching, take the capsules, but also eat more fruits and vegetables. And a couple years after I joined and partnered with the company, they brought in a product called the Tower Garden, which Tim Blank actually developed it for Walt Disney at Epcot. So if you've ever been to Epcot, you did the ride, The Land, where they're growing all the stuff hydroponically. That's the gentleman who produced this. So he spent about 10 years with NASA dealing with not only the tonic, because the food that you're feeding the plants, but then how to best grow, and to then get it into individual homes where people could grow their own produce without spraying, without, you know, so organic and without all the pesticides and everything. So I'm going to show you the tower. I planted in the tower this weekend. So it's not very spectacular right now because the seeds are just germinating and they're inside growing. But every once in a while I do clean out the whole thing and start over again. And I was just at that point. But let me move over here, and I'm going to turn you can see that it's very bright here because those are the grow lights on it. And I'm going to turn the grow lights off so you can actually see.
So cool. And you can grow fruits and vegetables, or mostly vegetables. There's not any fruits that you're growing in this, right? It's mostly, or actually talk to what you can grow in the tower garden.
Okay, let me just see. I kind of, for some reason, okay, can you see? You'll have to tell me if you can see it.
Yeah, could you bring us down a little bit so we could see the base of it? Yeah, so how big is it? How tall? It's about 5 feet, right?
It is about 5 feet and about 2 feet wide. There is water in the basin of this, and there's a little baby pump in there that turns on a timer. And then that water goes all the way up the tower and gets the root system wet with the nutrients. That's where the nutrients are. And then you are growing in this rock wool, the seeds are. So pretty soon I will be getting little baby plants, and they get huge. Weird, I can only see Zoom on my screen here.
We can see just the top of it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell, but these get huge. You should not be able to see the white tower once all the plants get in there. So you can do basil and all kinds of herbs and spices. You can also do all kinds of lettuces. When I grow outside, I do tomatoes and cucumbers and broccoli and peppers and every color of the rainbow. And we can do that all outside as well as inside. A lot of the vinier things I wait with and do outside. And then mainly this is a lot of greens for my smoothies and things like that. But it's kind of nice because you can go over, cut a little lettuce and serve it for dinner. So we kind of joke about the fact that the plants don't even know they're dead when we're eating them because it literally is right off the vine, right? So yeah,
Fantastic.
so it's a fun way. I bring these into schools and show kids how to grow in them as well.
Hmm.
I'm waiting, these little portals up here are for microgreens. So I just ordered some seeds, so I'm waiting for those to come in. But I'm putting these little cups in there because I don't want light to get into the water so it doesn't start getting moldy and things like that. So we keep it nice and dark inside. So it's a nice little unit that works well in the kitchen. And when warm weather comes, we have them out on our patio.
Yeah. So how heavy is that? I mean, how when you're transitioning it from inside to outside, right now it's filled with water. You said the base. How do you get
Correct.
that water, and how do you get the nutrients to the plants?
Okay, well, when you fill it up, obviously you're putting your nutrients into that water, and then the water's being absorbed by the root system. So eventually outside you'll lose some to evaporation, but it's really the roots itself that are soaking up all the nutrients in the water. So when this is empty, it's very light to transport. And actually, I have them on. I don't know if you can see the wheels on the bottom there.
Oh yes,
Uh,
there we go.
yeah. So those are on wheels, and when we put them outside, we're also have them on a wheel base too, so you can move it around if you need to get it in the sun. And the lights are on timers, and so I every once in a while check supply, check the pH level just to make sure. And I don't know if you can hear it right now. It just kicked on.
Oh no, it didn't.
Okay.
Oh yes, yes. You
So
can hear it
it
now.
just kicked on, and it's right now all that water is being brought up to the top and trickling down the inside, which is hollow.
So it does it automatically. It's set on a timer. You don't even have to worry about it. You set it and you forget it. Oh, that's awesome.
Exactly. It's a lot of fun, you know. And the kids right now with all the homeschooling going on, this is an amazing project for them, not
Yeah,
only to do that, but then they can take that produce and make a healthy meal. You can talk science, we've
I
even
love it.
brought it into the culinary arts departments in the high school and stuff like that. So there's a lot of room for education behind the product itself.
What about those people that have pets, Lisa? Can you tell us, oh, what happens if I have pets and they're going to get into my tower garden?
Yes, yes. Because the base of it is kind of angled, unless they are really, airborne at it,
Like
they're going to
that.
slip off the sides of it because there's the dome on it will keep them from, growing there. But if they're smart, if you have a dog or a smart cat, I guess they could be munching on the lower ends if they could reach it. But
That's when you
I
might
have,
want to put some of your herbs on the very top, because I know
yes,
some plants can be poisonous for animals, but and the
true.
bottom. So kind of knowing what that depend upon your animal, right?
Yes, exactly. And the nice thing about it is these little portals they pop out really easy. So you can
Ah,
actually move them from spot to spot. So if you get something that outside the sun is shading something else, you can relocate the plants to different portals. And if I know what you're planting, I can kind of help you configure your tower so that it will work out to the best, where these lights just kind of come in from the side. So everything gets an equal amount of the rays. Yeah.
so now in someone starting the garden, can they just go out and get seeds from their local Home Depot, or do they come to you as the consultant to actually help them kind of be able to create the different things and have the seeds ordered from you?
Well, what normally happens, you get a full kit that will have everything in it, the pump, the nutrients, the tower itself. It will come with a variety of sample seeds, everything all different, like the indoor one will be all different herbs and lettuces. Outside, they'll give you tomatoes and cucumbers and that kind of thing. But once you're done using those seeds, you can really purchase any either hydroponic seed or an organic seed from Home Depot or anywhere. You know, you don't have to keep coming back to Juice Plus for the seeds. We
Mm,
usually have some seed people. I order from Johnny Appleseed, and that's where I'm getting the microgreen coming hopefully within a day or so. So yeah, and
excellent.
it's kind of fun to, I mean, there's nothing consumable other than the nutrients itself, and they're relatively inexpensive. So when they cost them more to ship it as for the bottle itself. So we have now put in free shipping on all of the items. So we're
Wow.
doing as best we can to get as many out to people as possible. And during this whole pandemic, the Tower Gardens have been an unbelievable popular product. So
Yeah.
it's been kind of
Ever
fun.
since we first started talking about it, I'm like, I want one. I just got to figure out where to put it in our house. It's like, do I bring it all the way upstairs in my office? Probably downstairs would be a better fit by the kitchen.
Well, next to the kid, somewhere in the kitchen, maybe where you'll be eating off of it, because
So
that's, I
cool.
think, the biggest thing is people can't eat all the produce. You really have to work at making sure that you're eating everything. So go there. It's like, what are we having for dinner? Well, let's do bok choy because that seems to be growing crazy. We need to use that. So we kind of plan our meals about what's being harvested.
That is so cool. I love
It
that. I
is
love that.
neat.
So in combination just with everything that Juice Plus offers and being able to get in touch and learn more about like the Tower Gardens and Juice Plus products themselves, I know we're going to provide some information within this presentation and the link of today's talk where you can find Lisa and learn more about the product itself. Is there any other Juice Plus products or the Tower Garden or anything that we didn't get a chance to talk about today that we want to make sure that we touch base on?
Well, we do have a plant-based protein shake, which is really also been researched, even with MD Anderson Cancer Center in Texas. They have used the shakes along with the Juice Plus products to survivors, improving their mortality. And so the shakes are great, easy go to kinds of things. There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of shakes on the market, so I totally
Yeah.
understand. But you really have to look at what the ingredients are and where the purity is. And if you're interested in any of the products, we're more an education company than anything else. So there's tons of resources that I can send you and send people, webinars on everything from heart health to,
Mm-hmm.
dentist, even your dental health affects your whole body health. So,
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah. So
I
lots of,
know very well about that, and my audience and my clients know very well all the things I've done to my teeth. It's like for a healthy person, you can't imagine having so much work done to your teeth. But anyways,
I know. Yeah, but nutrition hits every aspect of us from head to toe. And so
you got it.
everything you put in your mouth is either doing damage or doing good. So you have to make those choices. And I don't call them, a lot of people talk about cheat days and cheat items. It's like, it's not cheating, it's your choice, So these are your choices. So if you
Mm-hmm.
happen to make a poor choice, you can fix that your next meal. You don't have to wait till Monday. You don't have to wait till tomorrow morning when you wake up. It
Got
can
it.
be just the next time you eat, you can make those changes.
Definitely. Awesome. Very,
Yeah.
very well said. And I do have one more question for you, Lisa.
Sure.
So when you were talking before about having the label be more of like a foods label, and when someone is trying to figure out, okay, I'm taking a multivitamin, my doctor told me to take this, or Ashley and I have talked about this, when you're trying to kind of explain the differences between taking a multivitamin and then taking the Juice Plus products, should someone take the multivitamin and all the Juice Plus products, or can they choose either
Well,
or?
what I would recommend, and this is kind of what I did, I do take a vitamin D because, of course, that's a different vitamin that we don't normally get. Although vitamin D does come in mushrooms, and we do have a little bit of mushroom powder in the shake. So I do get my vitamin D that way, but in not in the excess that we
Enough.
need at
Yeah.
living where we live. So I do take a vitamin D supplement, but I do not take a multivitamin because, like I had mentioned before, your isolated A, B, C vitamins it's better for me to get it through a food source. So I just take my Juice Plus and I'm getting all those vitamins, and I'm not only getting the vitamins, I'm getting the minerals and the nutrients and everything that we were talking about that works together. So it's actually absorbed in my body. So, and sometimes vitamins, even prenatal vitamins, a lot of times you can tell you're taking a vitamin because you look in the toilet and your pee is dark orange or yellow, right? You're just, it means your body literally can't absorb that amount because that's not how we were meant to eat. Where this stuff, you're going to have hopefully clear urine because you're going to be drinking a lot of water. But anyway, I mean, there is that aspect of things. The reason you're taking it is so that your body can do something with it instead of,
so there might be some components, like we talked about vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids would also be another one. And then, but for the most part, from a multivitamin standpoint, the Juice Plus, just coming from nature's best resource, our produce, would cover your basis for getting that antioxidant, getting that variety. One more question in relation to that. Is there somewhere that Juice Plus has where they can kind of relate a label that you might see in the stores in terms of like what a normal vitamin capsule looks like and what the product line is, a comparison?
They do. If you, again, because you're kind of comparing a supplement label with a nutrition label, you're
and Lisa cut out. If anybody can still hear me. Oh, Lisa, you cut out. Okay, go ahead and.
Okay. Sorry.
So you said comparing a supplement. So it'd be like comparing a piece of produce to a supplement label. But however, we can look at, like when we're looking at the nutritional value of an apple, we can look at that information and find out, okay, how much vitamin C is in this serving size or this weight of an apple. So we can look at those. That's why I'm curious. I'm wondering if there is somewhere that we can do that comparison.
Absolutely. It's, again, not every apple you eat is going to be exactly the same. So the vitamin C in each apple might vary depending on the apple. And that's another thing. What I've noticed is once in a while, when I'll open up the capsules, sometimes the green capsules will be darker green than other times. Again, you're working with real food here. And even it's not as exact a science as a supplement is because it's nature, right? Nature doesn't need the hype, it's just what comes naturally. So there are variations where we kind of joke about when you drink orange juice, if you drink the same brand of orange juice, it always tastes the same. Yet if you eat different oranges, you'll get one tart one sweet one. So what are they doing to the orange juice to make it always taste the same every single time?
That's a great point.
So, and you mentioned omegas, and we do have, Juice Plus does have an omega. It's all plant-based. There's no fishies involved, but we're getting the algae oil from algae instead of what the fish eat. So it is a full spectrum omega, which is 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 in there. So all plant-based as well. We don't do anything that is not plant-based, even the capsules themselves.
And does that one have, again, the dosage for specific to the omega-3? Okay, so that one does list it.
So I can show, I can definitely post some of the labels if somebody's interested in that.
Yeah, for sure. Great. Well, I hope that everybody has enjoyed this chat. We've talked about a variety of things, from how to reduce chronic inflammation by adding more color and variety to your diet and adding in plants this fall, and ways that you can incorporate more plants by not only growing your own garden at home inside, but also by using Juice Plus products. And, I think this was really great to learn from you, Lisa, and to really learn more about the research that we've talked about before this chat and the extensive studies that they've done in terms of the quality of the products with Juice Plus, and the fact that you're wanting to provide just overall health to the next generation by giving out free supplements and free Juice Plus to kids, and having them be able to get that taste, like we talked about the taste before, for plants, and being able to get their taste buds used to maybe some bitter flavors and some sweeter flavors from nature. And nature's best medicine as your colorful produce. So thank you all
Yes.
so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Lisa. We'll post some information. If you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out and let us know. We're happy to answer it. And Lisa's in this group too, so she can comment on if you just tag her in the post. And you can find her at her website too, which I'll put in the comment section. And you guys can get your tower gardens and get growing.
Sounds wonderful. Let me know any questions. We're like I said, we base ourselves on education. That's the forefront. People who know more do better.
That's great. Great. Thank you so much, Lisa. Have a great rest
Thank
of your
you.
day. And thanks for joining
You
us.
too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.